Hello, I'm Teemu, and this is my post-mortem for Devtober. Devtober is a game-making event that is held in online/game jam, where your goal is to create productive and healthy working habits, and also make game development part of your daily life. I joined Devtober because I wanted an excuse to work on a side project, on a game idea that has been on my mind for a few years, and I also wanted to find a better balance for my game development activities. The game I started working on this Devtober is called Detour in Hell, which is a 2D point-and-click adventure game, and the style is highly inspired by Grim Fandango, The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes, Darkside Detective, and Undertale. The part that especially inspired me in Undertale was how the story was presented through the game mechanics and menus, and how each part of the game was used to enforce the story and experience. The game will be comedic in tone, and my end goal is to create an experience that is highly interactive and uniquely presented. The idea for this game started to develop through different designs and prototypes I made for school assignments. I wasn't planning on making it a serious project, but the game never really left my mind. It stayed there and nurtured. At one point, I wanted to try out prototyping a point-and-click game in Unity, and I used this game as a theme. Later on, I also wrote some of my design ideas for the game on a design document that I left unfinished because other projects took more of my focus and time. But I had all these pieces and designs that I could use, and then I came across Devtober, which gave me an excuse to work on the game and gave me ideas how to give time for it in my schedule. I also saw it as a benefit that would help me to prepare for school entrance exams, since those exams involve doing design and art related tasks. I also dabble in drawing, although I am a complete amateur, but I wanted to try making the game assets on my own, since I enjoy drawing and making art. I had some good base motivation for Devtober, but what was I able to accomplish? What was I able to do during this month? I started by designing and developing the title screen. My goal was to set up and find the art style and also establish the feeling for the game. I mostly started with sketching design ideas and ideate assets that were needed for the title screen. During this process, I asked advice and feedback from a friend with whom I have been developing games in the past, and that really helped me to make decisions that I wanted to go forward with. When I got some art transformed from paper to digital, I started adding it into a new Unity project and created functionality as soon as possible. Not long after I had the menu and the settings working, the biggest pain was the creation of the background for the title screen. It did go through multiple iterations, and with feedback from my friend I was finally able to find something that felt good, though I think I will still tweak it at some point. When the art was at somewhat satisfying level, I browsed through free sound effects and music in order to find something that matched or reminded me of the feeling I was thinking for the game. And here is the current version of the title screen. After the title screen, I started to move focus for storyboarding the opening cutscene that will play out when the player starts the game, and from the result of that storyboard, I started to ideate and plan the assets needed for the cutscene. Meanwhile, I was also creating a design document from scratch, but using my previous design pieces and ideas as a base, and cherry-picking stuff from them I really liked. I also determined my first main milestone for the project. I want to create the first section of the game to an almost finished quality. Release it and see how it goes. If I really enjoy the project, I will probably continue developing it, though that stage is still in the future and I still need to get to that point. At the end of this postmortem, I want to share a little bit how I was able to work on the game consistently, even during the busy streaks of my life. I'm currently working on a full-time job, 8 hours a day on weekdays, and I am also applying for a school. I have been doing some open university stuff on the side, and I have also other hobbies, and I have other game projects I'm part of as well. My secret is scheduling and planning my activities beforehand. Usually I plan and schedule my next week's activities on Sundays, which helps me to make sure that I have time for my projects, and it helps me to focus on the relevant things that week. Of course, there are days when I don't feel like following the schedule or my plans, but on those days I'll at least try to do the minimum. I also try to plan my current project tasks beforehand and cut them to as small steps as possible. It makes them more rewarding to complete, and ticking those boxes is really satisfying. It also helps me to give a clearer picture of what is needed in order to complete some larger goal or function for the game. On weekends, I was able to work on the game most effectively since I don't have to go to work on those days. During weekdays, I usually did something small to advance the project after or before work. On the weekends, I was able to find a satisfying workflow for myself. Since my tasks were created with small steps in mind, I was able to find a satisfying balance between work and play. This is what my weekend loop, a gameplay loop if you like, would look like. I will do one task from my Trello board and then do something fun. For example, reading a chapter of a book, watching an episode of a show, or playing a game for 1 hour or so. And after that, I will do another task from the Trello board. Sometimes I jumped between my different project Trello boards since the tasks were constructed similarly in them, and this allowed me to work on different projects pretty effectively. If I didn't have any particular stuff to do on the weekend, I was able to continue this loop throughout the weekend, and I did find it really satisfying and fun. The side effect was that during weekdays working on projects didn't feel as motivating since I didn't really have that much time to go through that loop. And that's probably it for the postmortem. I'm really glad that I took part in Devtober. I was finally able to find a satisfying workflow for myself, and I was finally able to start creating the game that has been living in my brain rent-free. I was thinking that I might in the future do a devlogs once a month and update my progress on this project to give myself some extra motivation, and I think it would be fun. But thank you for watching, and I see you again. Bye.